It's your boy, Reggie. And Wayman has been doing a weathering project. Yeah. So, before we get into the video, we would just like to thank all of our subscribers and the new subscribers. We really appreciate ya. Thanks for hanging out. So, what project has Wayman been doing? Huh? He's been weathering, practicing, doing all that stuff. As a matter of fact, he's been weathering a dollhouse door. A dollhouse door. Anyway, Wayman, take it away, bruh.
All right, Reggie, I appreciate it. You could do without the smirking and stuff, man. We're gonna have to have a talk. Okay, so like Reggie stated, I've been practicing on this dollhouse door, a new technique for weathering with Scotch tape. I got this technique from James Pyle, and I think he got it from someone else. I'll link him in the video here. But yeah, it's just a dollhouse that I got from Hobby Lobby, and you can see here at the bottom, I done a little extra weathering, if you will, some deterioration at the bottom, and I just used the utility knife to all right, computer. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. Just use the utility knife at the bottom to distress it some more and make it look like it's rotted and that it's been there forever. And here I'm using the best stains on the door. From what I understand, this technique works better on balsa wood, and so I think these wooden doors and windows and stuff for the dollhouse that you can get from, like I said, Hobby Lobby, is a different type of wood. I do like the results I got from it, but I do want to try it on the balsa wood and what other type of woods that we use for modeling houses and structures and all that stuff like that. So, but here I'm just putting a couple coats of that best stain, and I'm using, I believe it's murky brown. And I know I had mentioned these before in some other videos, but they make some really, really good stains. If you haven't tried them yet, I would suggest at least getting one bottle and, comparing it to something else. I think this is like maybe the second or third coat on the top, and this is purely preference. How many stains and how many coats you want to do, it's totally up to you. There's no set rule in stone. You can do one coat, you can do 10 coats. It's all on what you want that door to look like at the end of the day. Now, what I will say for this next part that's coming up, and actually I'm still staining, but for the next part that's coming up, and I'll talk about it a little bit in that section too. The darker you do these stains and with powders and stuff like that, the better chipping result and peeling and flaking you'll be able to see a difference, because you'll end up using a lighter paint and stuff like that. Excuse me, but yeah, you'll see a difference the darker you go with the door, and because we are attempting to duplicate something, especially like rot and aging and stuff like that, it's probably best to make the stuff a little darker than what it's supposed to be. Again, if that's not the look you're going for, then you do what you want. But if you look at the bottom of the doors, you can see where I put like a heavy gouge, and I think the left hand side of the door, depending on what side of the door you're on, and there's some on the other side too, but this view you get a really good look at some of the distress and stuff that I've done towards the bottom, and that stain just seeps right into it. I am drinking coffee at the same time, so also I'm not sure, I may chop some of this up and make it a little shorter. I don't think I need the whole, because what I'm doing now in these videos is actually voicing over. So I'm looking at what I got here, but and just talking. But with this next part here, I have a little medicine cup of stain, and then a little medicine cup of powders that I mixed together. So I think I mixed black and maybe like a dark earth or something like that from MIG. And this is where it really gets dark. I really wanted it dark towards the bottom. I wanted it dark towards like right inside the pane or the panels. I wanted it dark right down in there. And the reason I have these two separate little containers is that I don't want to obviously mix that stuff in the normal container that it comes in. So I have, I think I ordered these little medicine cups, which are super handy. I ordered those off of Amazon, and I think they were like $5 for, I don't know, 50 or something like that. Super, super handy. But yeah, I've seen other people just, dip straight from the thinner or the stain right into the powder container, and I don't know if, that ruins it or something. I feel like it would, so I just didn't want to take that chance. And that's why I have the two separate ones. Again, a lot of this is preference. If you look again towards the bottom, and right here I'm kind of getting up right in the middle of the two cross sections. I don't know the anatomy of doors, or just is not coming to mind. I've watched enough This Old House, I should know. But yeah, I'm focusing a lot of that darkness towards the bottom, and just letting it seep in. And what the stain, you can lighten the powder back up. So if you see that I've put I dip it in the stain, and then I'll dip it into the powder, and then I'll dip it in the stain again and kind of lighten it or dilute it a little more. And again, it's all about just playing with the stains and playing with the, how dark you want it here and how dark you want it there. And again, because I'm going to focus more on the bottom of rotting this door, and the way this technique with the paint and mineral spirits works is that the darker the area, the better you'll see the contrast between the two. And yeah, as I'm looking, I think I'm going to either cut it up or speed some stuff up. I'm looking at the paint section, and that's super long, and also the chipping part is super long. I think we kind of will get the gist of what's happening here. And so yeah, I got another little medicine cup, and I have some mineral spirits. So you can, I think, get some mineral spirits from Ace Hardware, big box stores, hardware stores. This is some mineral spirits I had left over when I do oil painting, because mineral spirits help clean oil paint brushes or thin them. Kind of the same with what we're doing here. And I got a bigger brush because that little brush was going to take forever. And so I'm putting down one coat, and I think I've put, honestly, maybe 2 or 3 coats down of this mineral spirits. So I put it down, let it dry, came back, put another coat. Yeah, so I put 3 coats, and I don't know if I'm going to show the 3 applications of me coating this door with mineral spirits, but it dries super fast too, so it's not a long process. So one coat, let it dry, and let it dry good. Another coat, let it dry, and then another coat, let it dry. So, yeah, here's the paint part of it, and I think it's like a parchment paper or something color that I'm using. And here I done the sides of the door, the frame, and you can see the technique in the results that I got here. Like I said, I really like the way it turned out. I would suggest testing it and trying it for yourself. There's a few things I learned though from doing this. And then there's the Scotch tape. Let me see if I show it. I'm kind of pausing. Like I said, I'm looking at this and doing it at the same time, but I guess I didn't. It's just regular magic Scotch tape, nothing special. I do think it's the clear, the cloudy, not the clear. So you can see it's like that cloudy type of filmy tape. And then they have some that's like real shiny and clear. Get the cloudy tape. But here I'm just putting coats on, right? And what I found is that you need to do this process when the paint is not super wet and not dry. You got to figure this. There's a balance in this, and you have to figure that out, because what's happening is that the mineral spirits and the paint don't jive well together. Hence, like I was saying earlier, the oil paints, you can clean oil paints with mineral spirits. I mean, mineral spirits is a cleaning agent, but what's happening is that until it fully cures and dries, that paint is kind of just, in a sense, floating on top of that mineral spirits. And you really want it to, how can I put this, not fully cure, because that tape needs to pull some of that paint off of the door. That's the look you're going for, is this crackled, peely, aged, weathered looking paint job that, the door's been in the elements for quite some time. So I think on the next door or window I do is that I'll do sections, because here I just painted the whole thing. And the reason I believe it I guess fooled me, and I thought I had the whole technique down on the first one, which I automatically should have known I didn't, is that I wasn't painting as much on the frame as I was the actual door. So I painted the whole door. A lot of that paint dried really fast, and I had to go back and re-wet some of that paint to actually get the paint to peel like I wanted to. So that was probably my major learning curve and lesson in this new technique of the mineral spirit chipping using Scotch tape method. I don't even know what it's called. I'm just going to call it the mineral spirits method, because I typically use MIG ammo paints. They have a chipping fluid, and I know a lot of other companies also have this chipping fluid. And quite frankly, it works just about the same. I think with the paint, this technique here, though, it's more, it helps it be more random than you actually having to chip it yourself. Now, obviously, you can get it random done as well, but the paint just allows for a little more, the tape, when you pull it, it allows for a little more random pullings and chipping to take place, versus you having to really, strategically scrape or whatever you use that chipping fluid stuff for. Maybe I'll do a demo of that chipping fluid too. Like I said, I use both. I think they're about the same amount involved, and even with that chipping fluid, I end up having to re-wet the wood in some places. And it's maybe just I'm slow at what I do, but that wood or that paint has to be re-wet a few times to get what I wanted to get. And here I'm just adding another coat of paint. Coffee is so good. Sorry about that. I hope I wasn't rambling. But yeah, so I guess I don't need to cut this part of the video or section. We're about to come to the end on the painting here, and again, I just put however many coats I felt like I wanted to put. Again, a lot of this stuff, you look at, I'm sure we've all seen doors, you look at references of real doors that's been weathered and, messed up or whatever. But a lot of this hobby, and whether it's trains or dollhouse doors or actual dollhouses, I have a dollhouse I need to put together, but it's purely up to what you want. It's up to you to have fun with this. And again, like the desk episodes, do what makes you happy. If you don't want a lot of paint, don't put a lot of paint. If you want it to be really thick, like, someone has put 200 layers, as you see some of them home improvement shows where they strip back layer after layer after layer, then do that. Just have fun with it though. And so, like I said, you'll see that some sections here are not fully dry, and I get some good pulls, and then there's some sections that are really dry and I don't get great pulls. And you literally just put this tape on a section and you just pull it up. Now let me go back and rephrase this. Yes, you put it on there, but you can put it on with a lot of force, or a little bit of force, if that makes sense. A pressure. I don't mean force. You could put a little pressure on there, or you could put a lot of pressure on that tape. And as you can see, I need to really bear down on, getting this tape to stick to the paint and peel it up. And again, it's because I let that paint at the top of the door dry too soon or too long. But as you can see on the side, that paint is still a little wet, and I don't need that much force, or I keep saying force like I'm a Jedi or something. I don't need that much pressure to get that paint to peel up off of the door like that. And I'm sorry, it looks like the door kind of went out of focus there, or out of shot. Or I'm actually just doing stuff out of the shot. But I think I'll pick the door up and kind of show you what's happening and some of the results that I got, obviously, with, there we go. And I mean, you pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. You could, like I said, rub it really hard and you'll pull off a lot more. Or you can do a light pull, a light pressure. And this is the technique. I mean, it really is cool. It's random. So like, if you use that chipping fluid, it's not going to be as random as that. And plus, this door is obviously for a dollhouse, and it's huge compared to an HO scale. And that's kind of mainly what I do, an HO scale train layout. So, how does that differ from the scale of this door for the dollhouse? That's something I'm gonna just have to practice with. But this technique was really fun to practice with a bigger scale item, if you will, which is this door. And I know towards the bottom here that paint is really dry. You can see up in the right hand corner how much tape you're going to go through. I mean, this tape isn't that expensive, so. And hopefully with this, going into year 3 of the pandemic, tape isn't one of those things that is hard to find or hard to come by. But for this one in particular, I used a lot of tape. Again, I used a lot of tape because I was figuring stuff out, trying to understand how much pressure to put down, how much light pressure. Once I started re-wetting the wood first, I used a lot less tape. So yeah, this is the, I'm gonna dub it as a mineral spirit chipping technique. Again, I think it's really cool. I think it's a really nice, easy, I guess, maybe on a scale from 1 to 10. I would say it's maybe a 4.5. For me, maybe a little higher. For some people, maybe a little lower. I think just learning a new technique always, will have some challenges. But I've been doing, weathering, and whether it's a model car or buildings or whatever. So I didn't find this too challenging. But it did have its challenges, right? And that's it. We just practice and practice some more. And yeah, it's the bottom. So, the new one is the next section coming up. So I added, I finished up pulling the paint up and stuff like that. You can again see how much tape I use on this whole learning thing. Up in that left hand corner real quick, I think you can see like some of the oils I used. So I kind of just finished off with the weathering and done some powder work and stuff like that to get this door really aged. There's still a few other things. I need to do the doorknob. I want to do some broken window panes and 2x4s and stuff like that. But overall, and I tagged it too, because that's what I do as an artist. But yeah, this was a fun little project. Something different, something, that kind of changed gears. And I think that's what we all should do in particular. Like if you're modeling something, try doing a little something different so you don't get burnt out on that one thing. I always hear the burnt out thing happening with model trains, but just do something different so you don't get burnt out. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I appreciate you, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.
Yo, that was dope, bruh. Man, I like the way you had that stuff rotted on the bottom of the door. Like, what? Oh, no! My man Wayman, I see you, bruh. Well, anyway, we want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you. Without y'all, I wouldn't be getting paid. Word. So, Anyway, peace. And we out.